If someone called your law firm right now, qualified lead, checks all the boxes, would your intake specialist be able to close the deal on the first call? Could they do that right now? Because if that answer isn't yes, for every one of your intake specialists, you're leaving money on the table. We don't give our intake team the decision-making authority during the first phone call. The minimal standard is for the person who picks up the phone call to have the authority to make a decision as to whether the firm wants to retain, reject, or refer. Intake is a proactive game. It's not a hold time game. It's not a delay game. It's not a reactive game. It is a proactive game. Go get it. Welcome to the Intake Playbook, the podcast where we transform your law firm's intake process into a secret weapon. I'm your host, Gary Falkowitz, and I've spent more than a decade helping law firms across the country maximize their intake performance. If you want to stop leaving cases on the table, create a better client experience, and grow your revenue, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. If someone called your law firm right now, qualified lead, checks all the boxes, would your intake specialist be able to close the deal on the first call? And I don't mean putting somebody on hold, getting confirmation, warm transferring to somebody, looking at their script. I mean, right there, under 3 minutes, as you've heard in prior episodes, would they be able to say, Mrs. Johnson, this is exactly the type of case we can assist you with. Let's get started today. This is how we're going to start. Could they do that right now? Because if that answer isn't yes, I mean a resounding yes, for every one of your intake specialists, you're leaving money on the table. Guys, I have been working with law firms for the past 15 years on just intake. And one of the major issues that we have at Intake is that we don't give our intake team the decision-making authority during the first phone call. What we do is we tell them what we think could qualify, what they should say, and then lots of times we'll say, Mrs. Johnson, if you could hold for one moment, I just want to make sure that this is something we can assist you with. And then I put you on hold for 3.5 minutes while I go ask an attorney who's probably has no interest in talking to me and will probably look for a reason to tell me why they don't want the case because it's not a high-value case, and then we end up losing the case. Not because we told them we don't want it, but because we put them on hold for so long that we came back and they already hung up. That's happening. That's happening in the overwhelming majority of law firms. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I created this intake masterclass is because I need everybody to understand, hey, here's the standard. This is the minimal standard. It's not down here. We're not just talking about gold standard, right? The things I talk to you about, it's not just, hey, if you do this, this is only the best law firms. No. If you are practicing law and you're marketing your services and you want leads, then the minimal standard is for the person who picks up the phone call to have the authority to make a decision as to whether the firm wants to, remember those 3 R's, wants to retain, reject, or refer. And by the way, go look back on one of my former episodes, my prior episodes on the 3 R's. That is the goal with every first conversation. Now, here's the problem. Here's the challenge. But Gary, what if we end up signing somebody that we can't help? Okay, if you do it right, you just created an advocate. An advocate, that's what we want. We want advocates out there that are going to promote our services even when we couldn't help them. That's the best type of advocate. When someone goes, listen, I didn't use them, but I spoke with them, and I know they would have helped if they could. And I'm telling you, if you need a lawyer, you got to go talk to Garrett. That's the best type of advocate there is. And the truth of the matter is, if you determine that you can't help them, so what? You're not on the hook. Now, however, if it took you 6 to 12 months to realize you couldn't help them, that's a whole other issue. That's an opening issue. That's a legal team issue. That is not an intake issue. So yes, you should err on the side of signing when it's questionable. But let's go full circle for a moment. Okay. If someone calls your firm, is your intake team equipped and authorized and able to make a determination about whether this claimant qualifies for representation and thereby can communicate that they qualify for representation and moreover could try to get them signed? If that's not happening on the first call, during the first call, without hold time, without delay, then you have issues in it. Get on board with the masterclass. Let's fix them and let's make sure that your team has the authority to make decisions, because intake is a proactive game. It's not a hold time game. It's not a delay game. It's not a reactive game. It is a proactive game. Go get it. Thank you for listening to the Intake Playbook Podcast. If this episode sparked a new idea or insight, take a moment to screenshot it and post it in the Intake Playbook group on Facebook. Share what resonated with you or what you'd like me to dive into next. Your input helps shape this podcast, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me ask you this. Is your intake process maximizing every opportunity? If not, I created the Intake Masterclass to help. Inside, you'll get access to the tools and strategies I've used to help firms transform their intake process and turn missed opportunities into measurable wins. Plus, you'll join a network of professionals all focused on growing their firms. The ROI you'll see from refining your intake will speak for itself. Visit IntakePlaybook.com today and start making every lead count. Thank you again for spending your time with me on the Intake Playbook Podcast. Remember, intake isn't just about systems. It's about building trust and creating connections. Keep pushing forward. And if you're looking for more resources or details from today's episode, check out the show notes at IntakePlaybook.com. I'll see you there.